They have been occupying another nation for more than 40 years. It's another culture, another religion, another type of living. Even the food is different. Even the way people dress is different. And yet, they don't want to accept that they are occupying another nation. They always think of it as if it's a benevolent occupation, as if the Arabs and the Palestinians are benefiting from the Israeli occupation.
You know, we're still in that situation of saying, no, this is our country exclusively. We're Judaizing it. The people that lived here had no claim to this land. They were not rightful inhabitants. And so what we did is not wrong. On the contrary, what we're doing until today is redeeming the land for the Jewish people. And as long as that's the view of most people, you're not going to have the reconciliation and the acknowledgement, I think.
The intense fear that Israelis have of Palestinians, like where does it come from? Because it's so vast, it's so big. And at some point I came up with the conclusion that because the Nakba is suppressed, because the fact that you're living on somebody else's land is suppressed, and you can't really deal with it, but you have to like justify to yourself in some way. I have to believe that they all want to kill me. Because if I don't believe them, they all want to kill me, then how come I've kicked them off their land? Then how come I can live here when they can't?
So this is all the places that they have, you know, raids, attacks and conquers, and there is Deir Yassin mentioned. There was attack. I mean, of course, nothing about massacre. In the schools, they teach the pupils something like more or less, okay, we had this war, we fight it, it was just war, of course. We fought for our independent state, and because of the Holocaust and because of many things, and the Arabs wanted to kick us from here and so on, and all these stories. And most of the war, or most of what we did was justified. But there was one case of Deir Yassin that was ugly case and inhuman and so on. We must be careful not to help the state of Israel or the Israeli society to continue telling that it was the only massacre, or more or less this is what we've been told. Until we deal with what happened in the Palestinian Nakba, the expulsions, the massacres, the ethnic cleansing, and so on, we will not be able to live here in peace, never. It's a continuous tragedy. The Nakba is not something that happened and that's it. It continues running our life.
I realized that you could know the history and you could feel guilt about the history, but that doesn't make you more active towards preventing the history from coming back. The only thing to prevent from coming back is taking responsibility.
To the Palestinians that are citizens of our country, that live with us, let's acknowledge that this happened. Let's put up some signs, make it a part of our heritage as well, make it inclusive.
It has to be corrected in history. And we, as Palestinian people, have to remember these massacres the same way that the Jewish people remember the massacres that happened to them in history.
Let's take the Deir Yassin village, which is one of the few intact villages. Let's turn it into an educational center, a remembrance place, a museum, and let's use this as a real opportunity to heal and to reconstruct the relationships of Jews and Palestinians in this country.
وضع على يده السلاسل ربط يديه في صخرة الموتى وقالوا أنت قاتل.
Deir Yassin, it's important for me because it's my history, it's my parents' history, it's my grandmother's history.
وقالوا أنت سارق